A while back, I released a video called Asian Garlic Noodles, and that dish was a really good dish. However, I think there is another dish that can rival that dish. It is called shrimp scampi pasta. Let me show you how to make it.
So I'm using 5 to 6 sprigs of parsley here. You can definitely use more, you can definitely use less, but it is important to use parsley in this dish because it will add flavor to it. Now, as you can see here, I am just taking the leaves off of the stems and I'm saving the stems for later. I'll show you what to do with it, but I'm just plucking it out. And as you can see here, I have the stems and the leaves separately. And with the leaves, all I'm gonna do is finely chop it, run my knife through it a few times to get a nice fine chop on it. Now with the stems, I'm gonna take it and finely chop it as fine as I can so that I can cook it into the sauce later, which I will show you. I am chopping up 8 cloves of garlic. Now, the garlic in this dish is non-negotiable because the garlic adds a lot of flavor to this dish. So, if you don't like garlic, then add a little bit only, but if you love garlic, you can go ahead and add more. But make sure to add the garlic. Anyways, after that, I'm gonna go ahead and finely dice 1 medium onion. You can use 2 shallots, that's fine too. But the onion here will add a nice sweetness to this dish. Now here I have about a pound of shrimp. It's already been peeled and deveined. So all there is for me to do is put it on a paper towel in a single layer. Make sure nothing is overlapping. And then once I get them all laid out like this, I'm gonna go ahead and take another piece of paper towel and put it right on top and just dry it out as much as I can so that I can get a really nice sear on them when I go to cook them. And as with all proteins, you got to salt and pepper them. And I'm just sticking with basic seasoning for this because a lot of the flavors will come from the searing process and the garlic and the onions and the parsley. But you can add other seasoning like Old Bay if you want to, or some smoked paprika, that's fine as well. But once it's seasoned, I'm going to go ahead and get cooking. I'm going to bring a pot of 2 quarts of water to a boil, and I'm going to go ahead and add in 2 big pinches of salt, and this is going to help flavor the pasta, so it is necessary. To a large skillet that's been heating on medium-high heat, I'm going to go ahead and drizzle in some oil, any oil you want. So this is one of those instances where it's do as I say, not as I do. So when you put your shrimp in the pan, make sure it's not overcrowded like it is here. But once the shrimp is in the pan, cook it for 45 seconds to a minute. By then, your shrimp should be almost cooked through just like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip it. And the shrimp should be nice and golden brown on the side that was touching the pan. So once it's flipped, cook it for another 15-20 seconds, not much longer because it will get rubbery if you overcook them. And you know it's perfectly cooked when it's golden brown just like this. And once it's there, I'm gonna go ahead and take it out and just reserve it on a plate. Now, my water should be boiling at this point, and this is when I'm going to throw in my spaghetti noodles. I'm using this brand, it's my favorite brand of spaghetti, and I'm going to throw in the whole box. Now I'm going to follow the instructions on my box, which is about 8 to 10 minutes. I'm going to cook it towards 8 minutes so that it can be al dente, so cook it to what your box says. Now to the same pan you cook the shrimp in, go ahead and drizzle another drizzle of oil and dump in the diced onions. I'm going to go ahead and cook it down until it gets nice and soft. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in my butter, 4 tablespoons worth. It would have been nice to add this in the beginning, but it's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cook this down, stir it through, and as the onions sweat down, they will release moisture, which I will use to deglaze the pan. And so at the bottom of the pan, all that fond, that brown stuff you see, that's a lot of flavor from the searing process. And once my onion starts to caramelize just the tiniest bit, I'm gonna go ahead and season it with some salt. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my garlic and those parsley stems, and then just stir it up until it gets nice and fragrant. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a whole cup of white wine, something you would drink. And I'm just gonna go ahead now and deglaze it one more time, make sure nothing is stuck on the bottom. And then I'm gonna let this cook down until it has been reduced by at least half, which should only take 2 or 3 minutes. Anyways, now it has been reduced, and I'm gonna go ahead and transfer my pasta directly from the pot into the pan, dragging some of that pasta water with it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and stir it up, make sure the noodles are coated in the delicious sauce that I've built in the pan. After that's done, I'm gonna go in 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, the shrimp I have reserved on the side, along with its juices, and half of the chopped parsley. And then I'm gonna go ahead and give this another stir, make sure everything is stirred through, make sure the shrimp is coated in that sauce as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and season it some more with some more salt and some pasta water to thin out the sauce if it gets too thick. And then some pepper. Again, stir that. And once it looks like this, it's time for the taste test.
And here is the shrimp scampi pasta. Let's dig right into this, okay? So, some noodles, of course, some shrimp. Cheers. Mm-hmm. Mm. This dish is so good. I mentioned earlier Asian garlic noodles. This is so similar to that because of the garlic and the butter that's in it. And then the oceany taste from that shrimp instead of like the oyster sauce really reminds me of that dish. This is such a great dish though. I recommend you making this. Again, it's tangy, it's garlicky, it's buttery. And then with that shrimp that's perfectly cooked, it's not rubbery at all. It's just a perfect dish. So, if you like this video, hit that like button. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button or that one right there. And this button over here is for my previous video. And I will catch you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.